I'll escape this matrix attack, and perhaps if he needs to be taught a lesson, I'll be the guy to teach him a lesson.
If you want to fight and you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living fuck out of a fucking goofy, fucking entitled dickhead like you.
Imagine a challenge so bold it stops the internet in its tracks. Andrew Tate, known for his fiery personality and no-nonsense approach, has thrown down the gauntlet to Jake Paul, the polarizing figure dominating the world of celebrity boxing. This is no ordinary call-out. Tate's words were sharp, direct, and dripping with disdain. "Send the contract and I'll show you what a real fighter is," Tate declared, sparking a frenzy among fans and combat sports enthusiasts.
It would be an absolutely tragic shame to knock out an old version of his prime self. That doesn't feel fair, you know? Prime Tyson would have ripped me apart in a boxing match.
This challenge isn't just about two names clashing in the ring, it's about everything they represent. Andrew Tate, the outspoken former kickboxing champion, versus Jake Paul, the brash social media star turned boxer. It's old school grit against modern day fame. The stakes? Not just pride, but the chance to silence critics and prove who truly belongs in the world of combat sports. But here's the catch. There's no confirmation yet. Tate's challenge hangs in the air like an unanswered question, leaving fans wondering, is this the fight that will finally push Jake Paul to his limits? Or is it another headline-grabbing stunt that will never materialize? The suspense is palpable, the tension electric. Tate's challenge is more than just words. It's a battle cry that has reignited debates about authenticity, skill, and respect in the boxing world. This moment feels like the start of something huge, or perhaps the start of nothing at all. Will Jake Paul rise to the occasion and meet Tate in the ring, or will the challenge remain unanswered, adding another chapter to the endless drama surrounding celebrity boxing? The internet is watching, waiting, and speculating. One thing's for sure, Andrew Tate's bold move has everyone talking. Andrew Tate's call out to Jake Paul wasn't just another challenge, it was a scathing critique wrapped in the promise of a fight. Known for his controversial opinions and no-filter style, Tate didn't hold back. He called Jake Paul a clown and accused him of turning boxing into a spectacle rather than a sport. His words were direct. "Send the contract and I'll take a break from my retired life to teach you a lesson you'll never forget." What makes this call out so captivating is the personal tone. Tate wasn't just challenging Jake's skills in the ring, he was questioning his legitimacy as a boxer. He ridiculed Paul's carefully chosen opponents, calling them soft fights, designed to protect his record rather than test his abilities. Tate's disdain was evident as he declared that fighters like him, real fighters, would never have the luxury of such easy matchups. The most cutting part of Tate's challenge was his confidence. He didn't just suggest he could win, he promised to dominate. For Tate, this isn't just about a fight. It's about setting a standard for what boxing should be. "I live in the real world," he said, implying that Jake's fame has insulated him from the harsh realities of combat sports. Tate positioned himself as the wake-up call Paul desperately needs, a reminder of what it truly means to step into the ring. But Tate didn't stop there. He painted a picture of what a fight between them would look like, a brutal lesson delivered with precision. It's this raw confidence and unapologetic attitude that has fans and critics alike buzzing. Tate's challenge has stirred up a storm, not just because of the fight it promises, but because of the questions it raises about the state of boxing today. Will Jake Paul step up to prove himself against a seasoned fighter like Tate, or will he continue to pick opponents that play to his strengths? This isn't just a call out, it's a statement, a challenge to the very foundation of Jake Paul's boxing career. And as fans wait for a response, the tension only grows. The most intriguing part of Andrew Tate's challenge isn't just the words he used, it's Jake Paul's lack of a clear response. For someone known for his quick-witted comebacks and social media dominance, Jake's relative silence is deafening. Could this be a calculated move, or is the challenge something he's reluctant to face? Jake Paul has built his brand on spectacle and bravado, consistently turning critics into stepping stones for his meteoric rise in the boxing world. But Andrew Tate's challenge feels different. This isn't a retired legend like Mike Tyson or a celebrity crossover opponent. This is a man who's walked the path of combat sports, someone who thrives on real competition and unapologetic confrontation. Tate isn't just an opponent, he's a test of everything Jake Paul claims to be. Fans have been quick to dissect Jake's silence. Is he biding his time to craft the perfect response, or is he genuinely uncertain about stepping into the ring with someone like Tate? Paul's reputation has always been polarizing. Some see him as a disruptor bringing fresh eyes to boxing, while others dismiss him as an entertainer dabbling in a sport he doesn't fully respect. respect. Tate's call-out has amplified this divide, forcing everyone to ask, is Jake Paul ready for a real fight? What makes this situation even more compelling is Jake's history of turning the tables. Time and again, he's faced criticism only to emerge stronger, using his critics' words to fuel his narrative. Could this be part of his strategy? By staying quiet, Jake might be letting the suspense build, creating a storyline that could explode into the fight announcement of the year. On the other hand, some wonder if Jake's silence reveals hesitation. Tate's confidence is intimidating, and his critique of Jake's career cuts deep. Accepting this challenge could put Jake in a position he's never been in before, facing an opponent with nothing to lose and everything to prove. It's a fight that could either cement Jake's legitimacy or expose the cracks in his carefully crafted persona. For now, the silence speaks louder than any response. Fans and critics alike are waiting with bated breath to see how Jake Paul handles this moment. Will he rise to the occasion, or will this challenge remain unanswered? The stakes are high, and Jake's next move could define not just this potential fight, but his standing in the boxing world. The question remains, is Jake Paul ready for Andrew Tate, or will this be the one challenge he decides to avoid? As Andrew Tate's challenge to Jake Paul set the internet ablaze, fans wasted no time picking sides. Social media has become a battleground of opinions, with passionate debates raging over whether this fight should happen, and, more importantly, who would win. From fiery tweets to in-depth Reddit discussions, the reactions have been as divided as they are intense. On one side, Jake Paul's supporters argue that he's already proven himself. After taking on big names like Mike Tyson and Anderson Silva, they believe Jake has earned his place in the ring. Tate is just looking for clout, one fan tweeted, pointing out that Jake's ability to generate hype is unmatched. Others dismiss Tate's challenge as just another publicity stunt, claiming he's capitalizing on Jake's fame to stay relevant. On the flip side, Andrew Tate's fans are rallying behind him with equal fervor. To them, Tate represents everything Jake isn't, a real fighter with years of experience in combat sports. They see this as a chance for someone to finally expose Jake, proving that his boxing career has been more about marketing than skill. Tate would end him in 2 rounds, one commenter predicted, echoing the sentiment of many who view this potential matchup as a reality check for Jake Paul. The memes and hashtags have been relentless. Tadev S. Paul, fight, and Yanger reality check Jake are trending across platforms, with fans creatively envisioning how this fight could unfold. Some posts mock Jake's silence, while others hype up Tate's explosive personality and his ability to dominate both in the ring and online. But it's not all lighthearted banter. Many fans are raising serious questions about the implications of such a fight. Would it legitimize Jake Paul further, or would it expose the limitations of his skills? Would Andrew Tate, with his controversial reputation, bring more criticism to the sport? The stakes feel bigger than just one fight. It's a clash of ideologies, styles, and fan bases. What's undeniable is the buzz this call-out has generated. Fans are glued to their screens, waiting for any updates or responses from either side. Whether it's Jake breaking his silence or Tate doubling down on his challenge, the anticipation is at a fever pitch. The internet has spoken, and the message is clear. They want answers, and they want them now. As the debates rage on, one question looms large. Will this fight actually happen? Fans from both camps are holding their breath, hoping that this clash of personalities becomes the spectacle they're envisioning. Until then, the internet remains divided, and the suspense continues to build. Andrew Tate's call-out wasn't just about challenging Jake Paul to a fight. It was a scathing critique of everything Paul stands for in the boxing world. Tate didn't hold back, accusing Jake of prioritizing fame over skill and turning boxing into a spectacle rather than a sport. Jake Paul is nothing more than a clown, Tate proclaimed, dismissing Paul's carefully curated career as a series of hand-picked opponents and flashy promotions designed to boost his public image rather than test his abilities in the ring. For Tate, this fight is about exposing what he sees as the hollow foundation of Jake's boxing journey. There are fighters out there who have poured their lives into this sport, Tate said. Fighters who may never earn a fraction of what Jake has, but could destroy him in the ring without breaking a sweat. It's a sentiment that resonates deeply with boxing purists, many of whom have criticized Paul for bypassing the traditional path, building a career through hard-fought battles, and rising through the ranks. Tate's words cut to the core of the debate surrounding celebrity boxing. On one hand, Paul has undeniably brought attention to the sport, attracting new audiences and generating record-breaking pay-per-view numbers. On the other hand, critics like Tate argue that this attention comes at a cost, diluting the authenticity of boxing and overshadowing the fighters who have dedicated their lives to the craft. But Tate didn't stop at critiquing Paul's career. He went after his character as well. Jake Paul isn't a fighter, Tate declared. He's an entertainer playing a role, and the only reason he's still standing is because he's never faced someone who's truly dangerous. This challenge wasn't just about proving who's the better fighter, it was about restoring what Tate believes is the honor and integrity of the sport. The question that lingers is whether Jake Paul can rise above these critiques. Can he prove that he's more than just a social media star dabbling in boxing? Or will Tate's words expose cracks in his armor, forcing him to confront the perception that his career is built on spectacle rather than substance? Tate's critique is more than just a war of words. It's a gauntlet thrown at Jake's entire boxing persona. As the conversation heats up, fans and analysts alike are left wondering if Jake will respond to these accusations. Will he defend his path to stardom, or will he finally take on an opponent who's ready to challenge him on every level? One thing is clear. Tate's critiques have added fuel to the fire, making this potential clash more than just a fight. It's a battle for the soul of boxing. Jake Paul's rise in the boxing world has been nothing short of controversial. Loved by some and loathed by others, he's made a name for himself by mixing entertainment with combat sports, creating viral moments and breaking viewership records. But Andrew Tate's challenge has thrown a spotlight on the one question Jake can't seem to escape. Is he a real fighter or just a skilled marketer with a punch? Coming off his highly publicized fight against Mike Tyson, Jake has enjoyed the kind of attention most fighters can only dream of. Yet, the fight itself raised more questions than answers. Critics claim the match lacked the authenticity of a true boxing bout, with whispers of scripting and allegations that Jake carefully navigated the fight to protect his image. It's in this environment that Andrew Tate's call-out lands like a bombshell, directly attacking Jake's legitimacy and forcing him to address the doubts that continue to surround him. For Jake, the stakes couldn't be higher. Accepting Tate's challenge means stepping into the ring with someone who doesn't just talk big, but has the combat credentials to back it up. Tate, a former kickboxing world champion, represents a different kind of opponent, one who won't be distracted by the glitz and glamour of Jake's promotions. This isn't just about throwing punches, it's about proving who belongs in the ring. But what if Jake doesn't accept the challenge? That decision could have serious consequences for his reputation. For all his success in building a brand, there's a growing sense that Jake Paul has yet to face an opponent who can truly test him. Avoiding Tate could deepen the perception that Jake is more interested in protecting his record than proving himself against legitimate fighters. On the flip side, taking on Tate is a risk that could pay off big. If Jake wins, it would silence many of his critics and cement his position as more than just a celebrity dabbling in boxing. It would also demonstrate that he's willing to step outside his comfort zone and face opponents who don't fit the carefully curated narrative of his career so far. The decision Jake makes now could shape the future of his boxing journey. Does he step up and face the challenge head on, or does he play it safe, sticking to the formula that has brought him fame and fortune so far? With fans, critics, and the boxing world watching closely, Jake Paul's next move will determine whether he's remembered as a true fighter or just a master of spectacle. The air is thick with anticipation, and the internet is buzzing with one question. Will Jake Paul and Andrew Tate face off in the ring? The possibility of this fight has created an almost unbearable tension among fans, boxing analysts, and critics. It feels like a collision course, two polarizing personalities, each with something to prove on the brink of stepping into the ring. But as the days pass, the question remains unanswered. For fans, the stakes are emotional. This isn't just another celebrity boxing match, it's a clash of ideologies. Jake Paul represents the flashy, headline-grabbing world of modern sports entertainment, while Andrew Tate embodies old-school grit and the traditional values of combat sports. It's a fight that promises not just punches, but a showdown of philosophies, styles, and legacies. The suspense is only growing as neither camp has made an official move. Andrew Tate has kept up the pressure with his fiery statements and biting critiques, daring Jake to respond. Meanwhile, Jake Paul has stayed uncharacteristically quiet, leaving everyone to speculate about his next move. Is he strategizing, negotiating, or is he hesitant to step into the ring with someone as experienced and confident as Tate? Fans have been dissecting every word, every social media post, looking for clues. Some believe this fight is inevitable, pointing to Jake's track record of accepting challenges that generate maximum hype. Others argue that the risk is too high for Jake, who has carefully built his career on matchups that play to his strengths. The whispers of doubt are growing louder. Would Jake really risk his reputation against someone as unpredictable and relentless as Andrew Tate? The tension is amplified by the lack of confirmation. Each passing day without an announcement feels like another twist in the story. Fans are on edge, creating hypothetical scenarios, predicting outcomes, and debating the potential fallout of this fight. Social media is alive with hashtags like Gar, Tate vs Paul, and Will They Fight, keeping the conversation at a fever pitch. This uncertainty is part of what makes the potential fight so captivating. It's not just just about what will happen in the ring, it's about the buildup, the mind games, and the endless possibilities. Will this fight actually happen, or will it remain a tantalizing what if in the world of combat sports? The suspense is driving fans wild, and the only thing that can break it is an official confirmation. Until then, the internet will remain divided. The debates will rage on, and the anticipation will only grow stronger. If this fight happens, it's more than just a boxing match. It's a battle with reputations, careers, and legacies hanging in the balance. For Andrew Tate and Jake Paul, the stakes couldn't be higher, and both fighters have everything to gain and just as much to lose. For Andrew Tate, stepping into the ring with Jake Paul would be more than just proving he can still dominate in combat sports. It's about sending a message. Tate has repeatedly criticized Jake for prioritizing spectacle over substance, claiming that his fame doesn't reflect the hard work and sacrifice that real fighters endure. By taking on Jake and winning, Tate could position himself as the man who brought integrity back to the boxing world, exposing what he sees as the hollowness of Jake's carefully constructed career. But a loss for Tate could undermine his reputation as a no-nonsense, seasoned fighter. As much as he critiques Jake, the younger fighter has proven he can hold his own in the ring, even against legends like Mike Tyson. If Tate fails to deliver, it could dent his credibility, reducing his critiques to mere talk. For Tate, this fight is a chance to solidify his place as a combat sports authority while taking a stand against what he sees as the commercialization of boxing. For Jake Paul, the stakes are equally high, if not higher. His entire boxing career has been built on defying expectations and silencing critics. Each victory has brought him closer to being seen as a legitimate fighter, but Andrew Tate represents a different kind of challenge, one that could either elevate Jake to new heights or unravel everything he's worked for. A win against Tate would be a monumental achievement for Jake. It would silence the doubters, proving that he's more than just a social media star dabbling in boxing. Beating Tate would allow Jake to claim victory over someone who embodies the grit and skill of combat sports, cementing his place as a serious contender in the boxing world. But a loss could have far-reaching consequences. Jake's critics have long accused him of avoiding real challenges, and a defeat at the hands of Tate would only add fuel to that fire. It could tarnish his carefully curated image and make it harder for him to justify his position as one of the most talked about figures in boxing. This fight, if it happens, will be more than punches and knockouts. It's a battle for respect, validation, and the future of both fighters' careers. Andrew Tate wants to expose what he sees as a flaw in modern boxing, while Jake Paul wants to prove that his success isn't just hype, it's earned. With so much on the line, this fight isn't just about who's stronger or faster, it's about who has the most to prove and who's willing to risk it all. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the world is watching.